I first saw it on a cloudless day of early July. We had started at dawn, crossed Cairngorms about 9 o'clock, and made our way by the saddle to the lower end of the loch. Then we idled up the side, facing the gaunt quarry, and at last, when the noonday sun penetrated directly into the water, we stripped and bathed. The clear water was at our knees, then at our thighs. How clear it was, only this walking into it could reveal. To look through it was to discover its own properties. What we saw underwater had a sharper clarity than what we saw through air. We waded on into the brightness, and the width of the water increased, as it always does when one is on or in it, so that the loch no longer seemed narrow, but the far side was a long way off. Then I looked down, and at my feet there opened a gulf of brightness so profound that the mind stopped. We were standing on the edge of a shelf that ran some yards into the loch, before plunging down to the pit that is the true bottom. And through that inordinate clearness we saw to the depth of the pit. So limpid was it that every stone was clear. I motioned to my companion, who was a step behind, and she came and glanced as I had down the submerged precipice. Then we looked into each other's eyes, and again into the pit. I waded slowly back into shallower water. There was nothing that seemed worth saying. My spirit was as naked as my body. It was one of the most defenceless moments of my life. Nan Shepherd has had a huge influence on my work as a writer. I read The Living Mountain for the first time after I was introduced to her work by Professor Lumsden whilst I was studying for my PhD at the University of Aberdeen. And ever since then, she's been a constant companion when I'm out in the hills and in my creative life. Her work really opened my eyes to the creative possibilities of having such a close relationship to a particular place. As she says, knowing another is endless. The thing to be known grows with the knowing. I think as well, her ability to create these multiple perspectives, where, as she says, the focal point is everywhere, and the sense of expansiveness this gives to her work, is something I've tried to emulate. The Living Mountain is full of these examples, from her walking through clouds, to witnessing a burn freeze into icicles mid-flow. But one of my favourites is when she visits Loch Ann for the first time. She wades into the seemingly shallow loch, only to find herself standing on the edge of a precipice. And I include this in my poem Stones. Stones. The walk out through pines, their bright sap smell that morning, Alp Druy far below, mist rolling up Laragrew. At the pools of Dee, like little lochans where the river starts its course, you asked, marry me? Later, where the path widens, we walked close and made our plans. Bray Riach, Cairntoul, Loch Ann, where Shepherd, naked, waded in, to find a sudden dropping off, that gulf of brightness that showed her depth and every stone.